Alright, hello all the crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite. Welcome back to Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Last time, we have officially gained the ship, and I believe I said something to the effect that I would start just exploring around and seeing what I find, and I expect that I will be sort of just putting off the main plot for a while, and while I do this. Let's see, so there is a shadow section, and there is like a non-shadow section of the, the Eclipse. What are we calling this? Like the Umbra and the Penumbra? The Umbra is like the center of the shadow, and the Penumbra is like the partially shadowy part, right? I don't know physics, optical science, and whatnot. The enemies inside the Umbra definitely seem stronger than the ones outside, though. So if I were to sail around a little bit, 8,792 experience points for 4 enemies. The enemies are definitely stronger inside the shadowy region. So yeah, there's going to be some levels to be had there. Karis is going to gain a level. I gained a level. Tyrell gained a level. Sveta gained a level like 2 battles ago. Amita gained a level, and Reef did not gain a level, and Aeolio did not gain a level. That was a lot of experience. That was like... I think in the last boss fight, I earned like 15,000 experience points, and that was like half of that just from a regular enemy. So I'd like to go this way. I see on the map... Boy, the enemies are a lot stronger here. I see on the map that there's some like icebergy things floating around the northern, like northwestern part of the map. Over here I see... I was not planning on level grinding in this game, but it seems like, especially if I'm just gonna run around in the shadowy area, I definitely don't need to level grind because there's just so much experience to be had in here. Anyway, the ship is completely sunk. There's no way to get in. Is someone there? Hey, hello? Anyone here? We've come to help. Is there anyone still alive here? Please, give a shout. We're just screaming into the void. Alright. So I believe it's a bit of a Golden Sun tradition to have a ghost ship of sorts. And I can't help but feel like that's what that is going to be. So if nothing... 9,000 experience points. Alright, I'm gonna gain a level. Karis is gonna gain a level. Again, Sveta just gained one in the last battle, so I don't think she's gonna get anything. Tyrell's gonna gain a level. Reef. Did Amita gain one? I scrolled through that too fast. But yeah, so, wow, experience points. I'll have to remember to come back here closer to the end of the game. As I said, it seems to be Golden Sun tradition to have some kind of, ghost ship that you can fight as, like, a super boss or an optional boss or something like that. So, where else do we want to go? If I go this way, this is going to lead us back to at least close to where Belinsk is, right? Also, I should probably heal before I go too far. We're just gonna have the people at the back of my party on White Mage duty, because I have actually been using synergy in regular combat for these enemies, because they are rather strong, and I would like to not waste the PP of the characters who are actually doing the fighting. So, what's out this way? Is there anything else in between these iceberg things here, maybe? I saw some weird fog not too long ago, which reminded me, honestly, of the Sea of Time fog, which gave me some amount of flashbacks from the previous game. But we can return there later. So I'm barely on the map right now, so I don't know what this is. That's like an ice wall. I guess that's the map boundary. I think over there, I saw what seemed to be just like the waterfall at the edge of the world. Here it seems more like the iceberg at the edge of the world. Boy, these guys are going to seem tame after what I've been fighting for the last 10 minutes. That said, I can't really complain, because I do actually like it a little bit when I have to, you know, put some thought into what I'm doing instead of just mashing the A button through a fight. So, what's out this way? Is there just going to be more ice wall? I wouldn't be surprised if there's not really anything else out here, but at the same time... you never know when you're going to find, like, some... Alright, so there's another... Is this, like, some kind of... Oh. I was gonna say, is that, like, a sandbank? Can I get out and explore here? But... seems that that's just there for decoration. This is a sandbank. I can disembark here. And... I can run around here, and am I gonna find anything interesting here? A genie, perhaps, in this clump of trees. I thought for a moment it was a genie, because I saw, like, the posture and what I assumed to be, like, ears, but no, this is just a regular wolf. But there were a couple of occasions in the Lost Stage where I did basically call a genie encounter just because, like, I was thinking it's been a while and, like, I'm in a sort of out-of-the-way corner of the map, and this seems like the sort of place where the game designers would have hit a genie. Even though the enemies are easier here, I'm still getting a good amount of experience for fighting them. Anyway, what's up this way? This is definitely something... that was a weird inflection. This is definitely something that looks significant. So, the door is firmly shut. Alright, that's a little anticlimactic. So, there's now two things in the, like, the northern reaches of this map, that I'm going to have to remember to come back to later on at some point. I see there is some sea over here, and I think if I'm reading the map correctly, like, this is gonna be, like... the sea where we spent a significant amount of time in the Lost Stage. Although it looks like, again, if I'm reading the map correctly, it looks like there's no way to actually get there. And that calls to mind, like, another one of the, what I consider to be one of the weirder criticisms of this game that I saw from a number of different people when I was looking up things that, like, why don't people like this game? And that's that, like, there were a couple of people who thought it was really weird and to some extent, like, defied the suspension of disbelief that, like, how much the map had changed between the events of the Lost Stage and this game. Like, you know how in real life the, like, changes to the map like this would take place in, like, geological time, like tens of millions of years, hundreds of millions of years even. What is this? And there are a couple of people who thought it was just, like, weird to see just how much had changed. How do I actually, like, get up there? Not entirely sure. I'll have to find that out later. To which I say, like, I can understand if you wanted the map for gameplay purposes to be more similar to the map of the Lost Age, so that you could, like, revisit old locations and see how people are responding to the changes of the last 30 years and whatever. But as far as it being, like, hard to believe, this is a video game where you summon magical spirits to unleash hell upon your enemies with, like, volcanoes and lightning strikes and whatnot. The overarching plot of the game is that there are these magical glowing purple vortices that have appeared, and you're trying to figure out what to do with them. And we are literally fighting monsters that have emerged from a shadow which is cast by the moon, which has just parked itself in front of the sun and decided to stay there until we can beat the game. And the part that people think, or I should say some people anyway, because this admittedly wasn't one of the more common criticisms, but the part that some people think defies suspension of disbelief is you know, the fact that the world map is, like, visibly different from what it was before. And I don't know, I don't want to make it sound like I'm gonna make a big deal about this, but I just think that that's, like, kind of, shall we say, unintentionally funny. Is that a lighthouse? I think that's a lighthouse. So let's get out here. Let's see if I can explore this area a little bit. There is a village here. Alright, Haroon Village. I'm amazed you all made it through, the way to Haroon Island through the storm. What bravery! Our village here is small, but you won't find another one on the island. Welcome. Alright. It's midday, but the Angaran mainland is dark, as if a fierce blizzard were blowing, yet it is summer. Confusing. Yeah, that's what happens. I think I mentioned in the last part, the thing that I definitely, well, one of the things, of the, you know, several things that happened when I saw the eclipse last year was how quickly it got, like, colder than it otherwise was. I want to say it was, like, maybe 65, 70 degrees Fahrenheit that day, and it probably dropped down to, like, 45 or 50 within a span of, like, 10 or 15 minutes. Anyway, there's an inn over here, and I'm going to... we've heard of Angara and Blinsk, but they always seemed like a far-off dream here on Haroon Island. This fortress city is the capital of Morgul, the country of beastmen. Alright, yeah, we know that already. And that was updated to mention the eclipse and the eclipse tower and whatnot. So I'm gonna heal. I don't really need it. I'm pretty good on health because I've been healing after mostly every battle. I'm pretty good on PP because, except for a couple of the fights in the shadows that went on for a while, I've been able to end fights in just a turn or so. And also, like, as I level up, and I've gotten, like, 4 or 5 levels on my party since I started the video. I want to say I was level 32 when I started, and probably the rest of my team was 31 or 32, and I'm now 36. But yeah, every time I level up, my max PP does go up. A seafood soup seasoned heavily with seaweed. That's a lot of letter S alliteration. Is there anything in the sea that isn't delicious? I have to say, I've never been that into seaweed. It's probably, you know, in terms of, like, sustainable food, it's probably up there because it does pack a lot of nutrients into it for a relatively small amount of, like, food matter. But it's an acquired taste that I've never acquired. Their ship crashed on a rock, and all those beastmen came asking for our help. I have to say, they scared me. At first, it looked like more monsters erupting out of the shadows. Happens. Yes, we helped out some mainlanders, but that's what you do when people are in trouble. We don't need praise. Alright, are you a beastman? I see ears. The monsters just show up out of the shadows. They never stop following you. Yeah, man, it's free experience. I haven't been counting, but again, going back to the status screen, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I've accrued more experience points in this video than I have in all the previous 38 videos put together. Can I actually see, like, a total number of experience points? That's 281,845 on me. I wouldn't be surprised if I've got 100,000 experience points just in the span of this video. Because I've been in multiple fights that give me, like, 9,000 plus at a time in this video, and then, like, a whole slew of others that give me, like, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. It's been a lot. I barely escaped the mainland. Had I gone to the festival in Belinsk, I never would have made it. Alright, so you are another one of the refugees. Some beastmen only escaped whatever happened on the mainland because they were here. Frightening. Yeah. I don't know what this says about me that this is, like, the first place that my mind goes, but, apparently, when the atomic bombs were dropped on Japan in the 40s, I forget which one it was, but one of them was initially aimed for a different target, but they moved to the pilot flew to a different city because the weather was bad and he couldn't see where he was going. And it's a little bit eerie to think that an entire city got spared just because of bad weather. Right, I think I need to think about, like, less morbid things. The fishermen who traveled westward have not returned, and we're getting worried. So, I presume that if I step out this way, and I'm not going to go there yet, but I'm presuming that if I step out this way, that's going to be the path towards that tower. Oh, and also a cave. Okay. I think we'll be going there. I think we'll be going there later. I do want to finish talking to everyone in here, though, just in case. You never know. Maybe I'm going to find a blacksmith who can make use of those Zol cubes or whatever that I've been collecting. So this is the Sanctum guy. Can I read your mind? I've had Mind Read as a power for some time, I think. Who has Mind Read? I thought it was it not? I thought it was Spirit Sense? Track? I thought Sveta had Mind Read. Please, gods of my people, protect us from the crisis of the mainline. Alright, so I guess that is, Mind Read. I know that it was called something different, but I thought it was called something a little more similar to what it was, you know, in the previous game. So in here, this is the store. I think this is just like a general store. I guess this person might sell us, like, regular items, weapons and armor that I don't see a sign differentiating. When will this horrible thing that's happening be over? I just want to live a normal life again. So that seems to be what's on everyone's mind right now, which is understandable, to be honest. The seafood is piled high with seaweed, chewy yet delicate. Again, it makes sense that you're an island and your primary source of nutrition is seafood. So if okay, so I can buy weapons, I can buy regular items. I don't see. Oh, there's like 2 pieces. There's like 4 pieces of armor. All right, let me look through this real fast. Aeolio's attack is gonna go up quite a bit. I think, alright, so the rapier is slightly stronger. Rolling attack, I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. Rolling attack sounds crueler, so let's go with this. Alright, yes, please. Reimbursement. And what else is there? Alright, I think that's enough of that. Most of the equipment that I bought went to... Actually, I think all the equipment that I bought went to Aeolio. Oh, I did give Tyrell a Viking helm or something like that. Aeolio is, after all, the newest member of my team, and his equipment wasn't very good. Even though he's, like, in the back of my party and he's not actively fighting, But anyway, I'm supposed to be drying out the seaweed, but I'm not sure it'll ever dry in this weather. It's like someone put a lid over the sun. The mainland is all dark, and it's always night for parts of the island. Okay, that does remind me. So I did say that I'm not a fan of seaweed, at least not when it's like soft and wet and chewy. I have had like dried seaweed, I think exactly once, and it wasn't bad. I do sort of imagine that if you season it with different things, you can make it rather interesting to taste. But let's see, can I get up onto the upper level here? I did see a tree. Oh no, you know what? The mini map up top is grayed out, which indicates that I can't really climb up there. But yeah, I know that the local Chinese food store, the local Asian food market around where I live, does have stuff like dried seaweed, and I've never like gone there and bought any because it's not something that I usually think of when I'm there. But maybe that's something that I should try one of these days. So Tyrell, I believe, has Rock Smash, and there's definitely a rock smashable rock here. I think I'm going to really go exploring in the next video. So I'm 40 minutes of real time into this recording. A lot of that is going to be cut out for battles, and I don't want to really dawdle. I'd like to just go and talk to the rest of the NPCs in here. Did I go into these houses yet? I don't remember. I'm the village storyteller, but since my son and my little grandson, Kaba, went missing, I've been too worried to tell my stories. Okay. That sounds like the beginnings of a side quest. Missing since the eclipse. That's not very descriptive, but it's a start. My husband has not come home, but I refuse to grieve. Nothing is certain yet. Alright, so that sounds like a missing person side quest. Seaweed dumpling is just one of the hundreds of delectable uses for seaweed. You're really into the seaweed here. Can I move this sideways? Can I move this anywhere? Nope. Alright. Wasn't sure if the dark thing on the floor... Okay, that's a pile of wood. Wasn't sure if that was like a mark that I could push it into and reveal something behind it, but no. Alright, and I think the last house for us to venture into is going to be here. Have you met the old man who lives next door? He's a storyteller. He knows all about the old days. Yeah, I did meet him, but he didn't have much to say. The currents bring the driftwood of broken ships here. After a storm, it can take a long time to clean it all up. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. The vegetable slaw is made mostly of finely chopped seaweed. The sesame really brings out the flavors. Alright. So, I think that's going to do it for... now. Next time, we're going to go and... Oh, that's more seaweed down here. I thought that was, like, wood or rocks or something, but, you know, I'm putting two and two together. That's definitely seaweed. Next time, we're going to go exploring. We'll go say hi to that Mercury genie that was in the cave. We'll go investigate that tower. We'll go investigate the other cave I saw in the overworld. It's going to be a fun time. My name is Dragonite. You should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to the Steam page can be found down below. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all later.